Is that for real?
Live from Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Houston Life on this Friday, September 11th, 2020. My goodness, even just saying that date gives me pause, Courtney.
It really does, and it's so hard to believe, and I think we say this every year, that now 19 years ago.
I know.
It's unbelievable to me, but I still remember that day vividly, the feelings. I had a really lengthy conversation with it today with Connor, and it was really, you know, it's just such a sad, heartbreaking memory, but also it's one to just pause, reflect, and exhale and remember.
Yeah, and people often describe the day as the day that really changed everything. I totally agree. I mean, our world was totally different from that point on. And it always, I don't know, it catches me off guard. I was chatting with my sister and my mom about this, and none of the young people in our family were even alive during that time, right? I mean, this defining moment that we all collectively experienced together. I remember in the weeks and months after September 11th, I was on assignment for Channel 1 News, which many students watched in classrooms. And I was in New York and Ann Arbor, Michigan, where there's a large Arab American population. And so many people were receiving horrible backlash during that time. But I think one of the beautiful memories that I have is that in New York City, which is such a loud, bustling place. I mean, you walk down the streets of New York City and you hear horns honking and people yell, you know, it's just kind of that.
Lots of city noise.
Lots of city noise and lots of city impatience. And after those attacks, I remember, and so many of you, if you visited New York during that time or maybe lived there, the silence was almost deafening.
Yes.
People were taking time to be kinder to each other, to say thank you, to say please. Everyone came together to help. And I can't help but draw comparisons between that time and what's going on now, because it seems like now during COVID, we're once again going through this collective thing.
Right.
And it's brought out the best in a lot of people, but it's also brought out some really ugly things.
I agree with you. And, you know, one of the memories that I have, I was in Salt Lake City at that time. Orlando and I weren't even married yet.
Oh, wow.
And, but I remember vividly, I worked the night shift reporting, and I was going into the station, so it was probably, you know, noon or 11. I went in a little bit earlier that day because it was all hands on deck, so to speak. And I was walking to my car, and in my apartment complex, there was a guy putting an American flag over on his balcony. And it stopped me in my tracks, and literally I just started crying, because for the first time in my adult life did I look at the American flag for its true meaning in that moment, right? After this whole thing, this horrific attack just happened on our soil, and it was this overwhelming sense of sadness, and brought on by our flag, right? I mean, it was, and just seeing everybody posting and hanging flags, and what that meant in that moment. And so that's one thing that vividly I can still remember, still gives me the chills to this day.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us it was just stunning, you know, like the unthinkable had happened here. And for, you know, for people like my mom's age, right? I mean, they had lived through, or at least very recently had lived through Pearl Harbor and all of these other large world events that deeply affected Americans and American troops. But that truly was, again, 19 years ago, truly a defining time in our nation's history. And I hope that as we move through the day and as we commemorate this anniversary, that we can all just sort of take a moment and be a little nicer to each other. And again, like during COVID, it's interesting how people can either come together or do things that push us apart. And we're always stronger when we come together.
Oh, 100%. Always stronger together. And there should be, the division needs to end. You know, you get so much more done with a smile than you do A grimace.
With a grimace. So last night, my nieces and my mom, my sister did something really cool. They do something called the Healing Field, which is in the city where they live, but they put up thousands of American flags. I should have, I'll post some pictures on my KPRC Facebook page later, but it was so cool that they did this because my eldest niece is 12 years old. Again, I mean, 9/11 is something that she's only learning about from us and read about. And it's just this beautiful collection of flags that is just a very peaceful experience for anyone who goes to see it. And I think for them, it just made me appreciate that my mom and my sister had really made an effort to include them in this conversation and remember such a horrible day in our history.
I know. And even today at Ground Zero and the other locations, the Pentagon and, of course, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where they pause and read the names of the victims of this. Today, it looks much different than the 18 prior years because this would be a time for families to gather together where the names are read and the bells are rung. And this year, that's not happening. The names are being read. It's pre-recorded within the memorial where the Twin Towers once stood. And so you have to remember that we post all these pictures, too, on social media we will never forget. And that is true today because at least those names will still be read and heard. Yeah. Still be heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, why don't we take a breath? We've said this a number of times when we've had milestone days or when we've had really hard things in our community here that for us, it definitely feels strange to go on the air because our show is sort of light and fun and silly, as a lot of people might describe us. So it definitely feels a little bit strange on days like today to just have a fun and silly show. But we're going to do our best to try to uplift people during this hour. And we're also going to cover a wide range of topics that might be a little bit helpful, including Finance Friday. Yeah. And this is a really important topic because typically during an election year, the stock market, kind of comes and goes. People worry and they get emotionally, I don't know, maybe disconnected from their money, maybe acting irrationally, right? So today, we're going to really dig into this. Will the election impact our finances? We've got 5 tips to help us navigate the market with our expert, Trevor Shakiba.
And I love this next story, too. Strut Your Mutt. This year, it's going to be a virtual event. And Lauren Ash from NBC's Superstore, she's helping to raise money to make a difference in the lives of homeless pets across the country, including right here in our city.
Okay, very nice. Looking forward to that. Lauren Ash is so great. If you guys haven't seen Superstore,
it's a great show.
So fun. So yesterday,
it's a great store. Did you hear what I said?
It's a great store. It actually is a store. It's a facade. Right. I used to work next to it in Burbank, and I would pass it and be like, oh my gosh, that's Superstore. There it is. So yesterday we did another round of bingo. Was this our... I'm lisping now. Was this our fourth bingo?
I was going to say third. It's our 4th.
We had a great time, and we had great players. And some of the players were people who we have known for a while because we've been interacting with them on social media.
Yes, of course. Like there's Terry over there on the left in the red T-shirt and the Rocket shirt there. And I did not know, but I needed bingo to connect with my long-lost Greek cousin, Frances, who's also top left. Her family's from Kamalata, where my grandmother was born and raised.
Very nice. And doesn't she live next door to Jan Hargrave?
She lives next door to Jan Hargrave.
Body language expert.
6 degrees of separation Houston life is.
It was a great time.
It was so much fun.
Santiago and Ken and Mary. We had a whole fun group. And Wes on the left side of your screen.
My word.
Wes was changing his shirt for every round we played. So he started out in a Texans shirt, and then I believe he went to Astros and then Rockets.
Loved
after
it.
that.
And Ellen, who's, let's see, second in there on the right, I guess. She is from Natchez, Mississippi, and she knows my friend Sally Ring and her family. And then Eve on the right corner there, she was a bingo winner. She sent me a message on Facebook and just how much fun she had playing. And I mean, this was such a Tamika. I mean, it was so much fun.
It was great, and we're going to do it again. So if you didn't play the last few rounds, you can register on our website. We put the information up there. You can always follow Houston Life on Facebook, and we'll have a good time. We'll have a chat. People cracked open some drinks, and we had a nice chat for about an hour.
And my thing is with I don't know what my deal is, but every game that I call, it's horrible.
I know.
People are asking for new numbers.
Yeah, different balls. They're cursed.
I don't know what's going on.
And
they're bad?
That's evident. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Well, it's just interesting because typically Courtney and I would be out in the community along with Lauren Kelly and Joe Sam doing things, right? I mean, attending different events, just the way all of you would typically be out in the community a little more often. So it's interesting how in the age of COVID, we've all figured out different ways to connect. One thing that's also changed radically, weddings during COVID. Radically. We've had Zoom weddings. Now that there's this thing called a micro wedding.
What does that mean?
Well, that's a great question.
It's a teeny tiny wedding?
It's for really small Barbie dolls. It's a doll wedding in a dollhouse.
What is a micro wedding? So shouldn't it just be the bride and the groom?
Well, it could be.
Okay.
It could be. Apparently, and I think this number seems all wrong, right? I didn't write this article. So if you have under 50 guests, like fewer than 50 people.
That's a micro wedding?
Then that's a micro wedding. I think that still sounds like a big wedding. I know we are in Texas. I know people who have attended weddings with 600 people here.
Yeah, those are big weddings. That's a massive wedding.
That's a massively expensive wedding. I mean, how do you...
I know.
Whatever, it's your wedding.
Yeah,
invite
that's a whole
600 people.
We're gonna get hate mail again.
So, yeah, less than 50 guests.
Okay.
Some have as few as one just to serve as the witness.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? So, speaking of Jan Hargrave, our body language expert.
Right.
When she and her husband Cecil got married, it was a micro wedding. Besides the judge, I was the only person in attendance.
Okay, so
and I
you're
took
the
some
witness.
video and pictures.
Yeah.
It was great. And so I guess I have been to a micro wedding, and it was honestly one of the best weddings I've ever attended. It was great.
Yeah, I know I haven't been to a micro wedding. I mean, I think my brother and sister-in-law, their wedding was actually in Mexico. So we had sort of the civil ceremony here first, and then they had the big to-do. And so maybe that would be considered a micro wedding because it was just family to the first wedding. And I'm not really sure which anniversary they celebrate. Is it the civil? Is it the party? Do you meet somewhere in the middle? I'm very confused on it.
But
I don't know.
It's your wedding and you do it as you want. What I do think is really cool is that because of COVID, perhaps, maybe people will stop feeling all this pressure
to have like
to have this
wedding.
crazy over-the-top wedding. You're throwing this huge party and it's a lot of money, right? That's, I just don't.
Well, I think about our wedding 152 years ago, and there's a lot of people I don't even talk to anymore. Never heard from, don't know.
Would you have done anything differently? Would you have not had those people there?
No, I think at the time, all of those people meant something in our lives. And, but 152 years later, I mean, I'm talking to a handful of them.
I know, you could have used that money to buy a vacation house in Palm Springs.
Right? That was our first
on the
vacay.
Guadalupe River or something.
Something. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Everyone has a different way of doing things. So something happened recently that I need your advice on this.
Oh, I'm here. What?
Okay, so protocol and all those things. I know that there is a certain set of rules when it comes to inviting. So Brandon, he works in special events, right? And so when they're throwing an event, they have a very specific, like let's say you're having an event on December 1st. Well, they have a very specific time that they have to mail out the invitations. Like a certain amount of time in advance.
Everybody should.
To give people a chance to respond.
Right.
And then as the guest, it's your job to respond in a timely manner, either yes or no.
Yes.
Right? So I got this message from a cousin. I haven't talked to this cousin in maybe 15 years. She lives in Idaho. And she said, hey, can I get your mailing address? I want to send you my daughter's wedding invitation. I don't think I've even met the daughter. I didn't know her name. I mean, I have 26 first cousins on my mom's side alone.
Okay.
So it's like a small army of people. And this side of the family, I mean, there's a lot of people. So I said, oh my gosh, that is so nice. You're sending me a wedding announcement.
What's your name again?
I'm sorry, who is this? New phone, who this? That would have been good.
It would have been really good.
Okay, so I said, okay, here's my address, whatever. So about 2 weeks after that, it was one night.
You went to the post, you went to the mailbox and retrieved your mail.
No.
Oh, okay.
What, are you psychic now? Are you telling my story?
I just thought you probably don't go to your mailbox very often.
No, I did not go to the post. I picked up the phone and opened the Instagram. And on my Instagram feed, I saw all of these wedding photos of the wedding in Idaho that I was apparently invited to. So the next day, I got the invitation in the mail.
What?
So what I'm wondering is, why? I mean, why?
Where was the where do they live? They live in Idaho? I mean, they didn't mail it, right? They didn't mail it when she said she was going to mail it.
Even if she had mailed it when she got my address, I would have had like
a week
to book a plane ticket and go. So clearly I wasn't invited to the wedding. Is that what it is?
It was for a gift.
Because they just want a gift?
Yes.
Because clearly they didn't want me there. I mean, listen, I show up to a family function in Idaho, lightning is gonna strike and kill everyone, right? So clearly I was not invited.
They wanted a gift.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they wanted money or a gift.
See, I don't like to even think that. So if I don't send, a gift, am I a bad person?
No. No. I don't think so. When was the last time you've never met the person who was married?
Maybe I did when she was a kid. Maybe when she was 2 or 3 years old. She's like 18 now.
I think we could ask our viewers to weigh in on this one, but I really feel like this invitation
was just to get a gift, right?
Was just to get a gift or money.
Well, I have the invitation here. I'm not going to show it. They're a beautiful couple. I wish them well. But I went to the website,
Gosh,
too.
I have seen that invitation for weeks.
I've been trying to tell you the story, but every day, you know, news conference at 3, so...
Right, so we can't talk about it.
So, but I went to the website. In light of COVID-19, we wanted to let you know our wedding is going forward as planned.
That's what it says?
Yeah, I thought, anyway,
so
whatever.
So does it say on there... There was a party? Like, was there a reception?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like, if you're no longer able to attend, we completely understand. You can update your RSVP anytime on our site. And we wish you health and safety during this difficult time. I mean...
And upload the gift card right here.
If Please make checks payable to... I mean, if I had a time machine... I could go back and RSVP for the wedding before it actually happened.
Right, but
getting the announcement after it happened, like clearly I wasn't actually invited.
No, it was for a gift. That's what that was.
I hope they don't watch Houston Life in Idaho.
I mean, they might.
It's a good thing we don't do a national show. We couldn't tell any stories.
Yes, we could. We would just have to, you know, change their names every now and then. Oh. And family relationships.
I do change their names. You remember Skidmark Jim?
Yeah.
That's a different name. So we do want to know, though. You seriously don't have to weigh in on my
I think you can if you would like,
in life.
If you would like to.
If you want to weigh in, I would be curious to know. Maybe there is protocol that maybe I should still send a gift. Maybe I should. I mean, I am totally open.
I mean, if you want to be very nice about it, then yes, absolutely. Send a pan, send something.
What's the opposite of very nice about it?
Not doing anything at all.
Just pretend it got lost in the mail?
I mean, it was delivered and it wasn't like shredded when it was, clearly it wasn't mailed on time.
If I had gotten it a few months ahead of the wedding, I would have said like, oh, congratulations, stranger, and sent a gift.
Right,
probably.
I can't make it, thank you so much, but
here's a little something.
Right, because that is a two-way street.
Here's a pot holder I crocheted just for you.
Right, with a matching scarf.
Best of luck. So if you've experienced any weird wedding stories, you please let me know. Please let Courtney know.
Yes.
Message us on the Houston Life Facebook page.
One of our wedding guests at our wedding 152 years ago broke her nose, and 3 other couples got pregnant. Married people had their first babies after our wedding.
Like broke their nose while trying?
No, that was a different person. Oh. I'm saying that was one of the casualties was a broken nose. The brunch the next day, I thought, what is wrong with her? What is happening? Why is her face all black and blue?
3 people? What? How? She fell?
She fell.
On the dance floor?
Not on the dance floor, but in the hotel lobby, you know, the brass arm rail, like as you're going down the stairs. She thought it would be fun if she, you know, scooted down. Maybe it was her boyfriend that scooted down and he slipped and his foot hit her face and
9 months later, there were 3 baby showers to attend.
Yes.
I used to watch America's Funniest Videos just for the wedding cake fail montages.
AJ
Have you seen those on YouTube?
I love them.
Search wedding cake fall America's Funniest Videos.
It's the best.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine going face first into the wedding cake?
Listen, and I took a header today too, getting into my car.
You fell?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me this?
I forgot.
What happened? You slipped?
I did lost my footing, and yeah, I slipped. I went down, both hands.
You
yeah,
did
if
not.
I had heels on, something would have been broken.
In your driveway?
Yes, I told Orlando to turn the cameras off because I know it's on there somewhere.
You gotta stop drinking before work. It's a joke, people.
It's a joke. I need more coffee. I only had 1 cup of coffee today. That explains a lot.
Oh, I had 3.
Just 3, huh? 3 quads?
We got to get to the show. We got to get to the commercial break. Heather, poor Heather is melting
She's
down
screaming
right now.
in our ear.
It's okay, Heather. Okay, we're going to read the words. Still ahead, we're going to meet someone really, really cool. We are chatting with Houston's next breakout pop singer. Have you heard of HALSTON Dare? She is one to watch. We're going to learn more about the personal inspiration behind her catchy music.
And coming up next, are you worried that the election will impact your finances? We're going to share 5 tips to help you navigate the market.
Welcome back. During an election year, some people worry extra about what might happen to their finances.
Well, joining us now with 5 tips to help us better understand what the election could mean for our finances and the market, certified financial planner and president of Shakiba Capital, Trevor Shakiba. Hey, happy Friday, Trevor.
Yeah, back at you.
Okay, but before we get into this, you've got some serious financial advice for Derek, though.
Yeah, I was just saying, look, being the financial guy, my advice based on this wedding invite would to not send a gift, keep the money, save it, pay off some debt, do something good with it.
Okay, I'll take your advice, Trevor.
I mean,
Very
hearing
nice.
from the professional, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get down to business, Trevor. The election, of course, is right around the corner. Let's talk about what we should do with our finances at this point.
Yeah, so look, I'm going to go there. I'm going to talk politics and finances, and maybe not in the way that you would think or the viewers would think. And I got to give credit to Invesco because I found this study, and it was actually entitled 10 Truths No Matter Who Wins. So I'm not going to go over all of those, but I think this is really, really important. And the first is this: markets have performed well under both parties, period, right? If you go back 75 years, the S&P 500 index has achieved approximately 11%. And so if it did that, obviously it did it under both parties. The economy grew about the same, 3%. And so neither party, here's the point, neither party can claim superior economic or financial performance, right? That is important to know right now.
And Trevor, this sort of underscores a point that you have been making since day one, since you first came on Houston Life, essentially trying to time the market for any reason, including politics, is not really a recipe for a winning situation.
Yeah, well said. Look, you must stay fully invested. Now, here's the statistic that stunned me. And so if you go back to 1896, I know that's a long time ago, but you invested $10,000 back in 1896, it would be worth more than $7 million today. But if you only invested during the Republican presidents or the Democrat presidents, you wouldn't even have $1 million. That shows you trying to be invested on your favorite party is not a recipe for success. So trying to time the market is foolish. Here's the thing. Markets don't care about politics, and they certainly don't care who you like or dislike. They care about the fundamentals, earnings, profits, policy that's going to drive that. So don't get caught up in this candidate or that candidate. Stay invested and focused on your long-term goals.
And you also say, sticking with that, is that don't pay attention to the predictions, like stay away from the doom and the gloom.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, most predictions are going to be wrong. And I remember this 4 years ago. In fact, I came on the show and everybody was shocked because President Trump wasn't supposed to win. A Nobel-winning economist back then said, this is the end. The market's going to crash, the economy, and clearly that didn't happen. The market actually did really well over the last 4 years. So negative headlines get eyeballs and attention. That's what they're trying to do. But remember, the fundamentals rarely change. Stay focused on dollar cost averaging, being diversified in your financial plan.
Trevor, isn't it also true, though, that we can expect some uncertainty? Because it seemed like back in 2016, 4 years ago, we did have this roller coaster ride, right? A few days, like 11 days, where you saw the market go from like 17,000 to 30,000. I mean, it was all over the map. Will we see that again this time around? And if we do see that happening, what should we do?
Yeah, exactly. Without question, uncertainty is going to increase, which means volatility is going to increase. I think we've already started to see it. If you look in the past week or two, we just don't know what's going to happen with the election. You don't know what to believe when it comes to polling and all this different stuff. So uncertainty is going to increase. But here's the bottom line. Remember 2016, you just mentioned it, and volatility increased. In fact, overnight after the election was over, the Dow was down 1,000 points. But from there, the Dow went from 17,000 almost to 30,000 before COVID really hit. And so expectations is the key word here. Know that that's probably going to occur. You cannot time the market to work out for your benefit. So the best thing you can do is stay fully invested.
Stay fully invested. Also another point to keep it simple. And you say, keep focusing on the American companies when it comes to diversifying your money.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to put this in, obviously, for today. Don't bet against America ever. And so paraphrasing one of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett, no one ever got rich betting against America. And so look, this kind of goes back to timing. You're trying to jump in, jump out, keep it simple, right? Focus on owning great companies, stay diversified, focus on profits and your long-term financial plan.
All right, Trevor Shakiba, thanks so much for your advice, and thanks for saving me a trip to the store to buy that wedding gift, which I will not be buying.
Yeah, pay yourself first, man.
Great advice. Thank you. And to our viewers, if you are looking for a new way to invest, you can connect with Trevor by visiting shakibacapital.com.
And we'll be right back with a look at what's coming up on the news at 4.
Welcome back. In honor of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, KPRC Channel 2 is going gold with our Fight to End Childhood Cancer campaign.
And new this year, we have a coloring book made up of artwork submitted by young cancer patients and their siblings. You can download it for free or purchase a hard copy of the coloring book through Big Love Cancer Care.
The artwork inside is fantastic,
So cute.
by the way. This organization is a nonprofit providing resources and comfort to families whose children are undergoing cancer treatment at local hospitals.
And for more information or to make a donation to Big Love Cancer Care, visit our website, HoustonLife.tv.
All right, making a turn now. Let's get a check of today's headlines with Keith, Christine, and Frank ahead of Channel 2 News at 4. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Happy
how you guys
Friday.
doing? Yes, happy
Friday.
Okay, I have to share this. I don't know why. Fridays feel like Vegas to me for some reason. I don't know why, but whenever I get to, I feel like maybe I want to roll the dice on the weekend. I don't know, but
I like where you're thinking, Keith.
there's that.
Time to party.
Now you know what's going on up in here. I know it's a scary place to be, but in our newscast, though, more serious topics. We're talking about teens and COVID, right? Teens are resilient, as we know, but just because you're a teenager is not telling you something's wrong, that doesn't mean they are okay. Health reporter Haley Hernandez working on a story about the signs your teen may be stressed and how to address what they're not telling you.
Certainly an important conversation. Plus, who can forget the longtime hit NBC comedy Friends, right? Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, Joey, the whole gang. The show's theme song is unmistakable when you hear it, right? We're going to see how one teacher's version of the song has taken social media by storm. This is a cool one. Let's check in with Frank to see how things are shaping up this Friday.
And if I was a betting man, I would bet on Saturday versus Sunday. A little more moisture coming in, but we're in pretty quiet shape now. You see this rain down here along the coast, a little bit bit of rain right along 45, but all in all, it's been a pleasant day. Temperatures right now, hard to reach even 90 in Houston, 91 in Conroe, but lots of 80s with the winds right out of the north. That was pleasant to wake up to, so it's just for today, really. So enjoy it as we head to 4, 90 degrees, 89 at 5, 87 at 6, and 86 at 7. I'm watching two areas tropically, one in the northern Gulf, the other in the Bahamas. Both of them are going to slide to our south and into the central Gulf, it looks like, as we head toward the weekend. I'm not worried about that one. It's going to head into Mexico. But this second one, that's going to move toward Louisiana, and that's going to start to really make soup out of our atmosphere as we get into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll talk all about the tropics, what it means to us straight ahead in weather at 4 o'clock.
Sounds a little soggy to me.
Yeah. You're right. You can bet
we
on
need
soggy.
more mornings like we had today. Today
I'm
was
with you.
beautiful.
Fantastic, indeed, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a bow. Just,
There you go.
A check's in the mail,
Thanks,
Frank.
All
and
right.
since you brought it up, okay.
Thanks, guys.
And coming up after the break, we're going to introduce you to pop singer HALSTON, a Houston songstress sending an empowering message with her music.
That's next.
This is a great song to work out to. I can see a run, I can see some squats. Well, that's singer, songwriter HALSTON with her single, Replace You. She's a talented Houstonian, y'all, bringing a fresh spin to the pop music scene.
And her tracks are a mix of powerful lyrics and catchy beats that'll make you want to sing along, like that track just there. And guess what, folks? She is joining us right now so we can chat about her rising career. HALSTON, it is so great to see your smiling face. And we were just chatting during commercial break. I am blown away. When I saw your video upstairs in the office, you are going places.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this journey, because you are so polished that, you know, move over, Lady Gaga. Here comes HALSTON.
Thank you so much. That's such a beautiful compliment. Yeah, I've been in the music industry for a really long time, and just this past year, I really truly found my sound as a pop artist. I mean, I started country, then I went alternative, then I went a little EDM, and this last year I really chose to hunker down on my career, take it super seriously, and really pursue this. And it's one of my biggest goals and dreams that I've had since I was such a little girl. And I'm so glad that I was able to release a music video this year, especially during COVID, also 2 singles, and I'm so proud of myself and for everybody and my fan base for supporting me, and I'm so thankful for that as well.
You know, you also moved out to Nashville at 17, and when you're going through sort of, you know, the resume or the years that you've country singer, pop star, I mean, it very similar to one pretty famous gal, Taylor Swift. I mean, you're following basically the same track. Why do you think, I mean, I think that there's something great about country music, right? But then why do you think you fell into sort of the pop version of that?
Well, also being a songwriter, you know, that pulls you into a certain direction that, you know, your heart might want to actually go in instead of your mind, or in the physical world of what genres there are to pick. And I just kept leaning towards pop writing, and as much as I wanted to stay country, I was so tired of putting on cowboy boots and a sundress and popping up on stage and singing country music, and I wanted to be different, and I wanted to stand out, and I wanted to have something unique about me, and I knew that would be the pop genre in Rome. And I'm so glad that I changed and took that area. And Taylor Swift, she's an incredible songwriter and an incredible musician, and kudos to her for the amount of hard work that she has put in. But I decided to go pop. And you know what? Taylor Swift actually did, you know, go super, super pop. So I guess I am kind of following in her footsteps.
And you write about things, of course, that you've experienced, things that other people can love and relate to. Can you just sort of describe to us the process of how a new song sort of unfolds and goes from your head onto the page?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing that I promised myself since I was really little is that if I ever had the opportunity to have a large fan base to expose myself to, I wanted to be completely transparent. I wanted to be real. I wanted to be honest. And I never wanted to ever write anything that wasn't true, because I know that I've experienced things that other young girls or young boys that are going through just like I have. And I wanted to write about that. I write about breakups. I write about arguments that I have. I write about beautiful opportunities that I've been able to experience. And nothing that I've ever written or put out has been false. It's all been true stories that I have experienced, felt, seen, believed, and that's my way of contributing my honest, real life to my fans.
And I think it's great because a lot of healing can be done through song and through music.
Absolutely.
There's so many people that can relate to that. Let's talk about your upbringing because, of course, as we mentioned, born and raised here in Houston. You went to Memorial High School. You grew up truly in a musical family to a Cuban-American immigrant father. And so your latest, oh, you know what? Let's talk about things that you love here because I love that you like Papa's Burgers. Now that you're back in town, how many have you eaten so far?
Oh my gosh, I probably go there at least once a week. It's actually one of my favorite date night spots. Their chicken tenders.
Ridiculous.
I love it so much. Papa's is my favorite place to go to.
And at Memorial, I understand you are on the track and field team. You were on the track and field team.
Yes.
Describe to us sort of your life plan, because it sounds like you've had an interesting past and where you're going in the future. You're an advocate for the environment and sustainability. Just sort of map out for us what's going to happen over the next 10 years.
Goodness. Well, when I was younger, I actually wanted to be an athlete. I played a lot of basketball and track and field. I was traveling with it. I wanted to go to college and play sports. And then my sophomore year of high school, I kind of had a moment with myself and I sat down and I was like, okay, being an athlete or being a musician and a songwriter. And of course, music was like, you're going to be a singer, you're going to be a musician, you're going to be a performer, and that's the way that you're going to go. So I chose not to go the athlete college route. And I actually wanted to be a marine biologist. And
wow.
I had so many other plans that I had for me, but you know, it ended up going in a completely different direction, and it's in a beautiful way that it changed. And yeah, so that was really the start of that.
It's really blossoming, and it's great to see how that path changed along the way. Let's talk about your new single, Replace You. The music video and song combined have received about, oh, I don't know, 500,000 combined streams and views. So, you know, just a little thing there. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so proud of Replace You. The story behind it is incredible.
We are almost out of time, but do you want to give us like the 10-second version of the story behind the song, HALSTON?
Yeah, so Replace You is actually about, you know, going through a breakup and having some trouble through that, and I had to do a music video over it, and I'm so glad that I got to do that during quarantine. And for anybody that's going through a breakup or a hard time, Replace You is your song. That is the thing that's going to get you out of that bad mood. It's going to remember that you are a queen and you are incredible inside and out, and it's going to remind you your true worth.
Absolutely. And the follow-up to that single is called Teach 'Em. That's sort of the aftermath of Replace You, also streaming on all platforms worldwide. So, you know, HALSTON, I'm going to be playing that in my car on the way home today.
So good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so glad Teach 'Em just released, and it's been doing super well as well. And I'm about to also release a live performance video of that coming up next week.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the chat, HALSTON.
Thank you so much.
HALSTON Dare, we will see you soon. She is going places, and if you'd like to listen to more of HALSTON's music or to connect with her, we do have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv.
And coming up next, NBC Superstore actress Lauren Ash is asking Houston pet lovers to step up and save lives. She's giving us details on her big virtual pet event after the break.
We love you. We know you from your hit show here on NBC Superstore. And we talked to you early on in the pandemic and we played Quarantine Confessions. And now, 5 months later, we're back, but we're talking about something way more happier and way more Houston involved. Why don't you tell everybody about Strut Your Mutt, which is happening October 24th right here in Houston?
Yeah, so Strut Your Mutt is an amazing fundraising initiative that supports Best Friends Animal Society. I've been a part of the walk many times. The exciting thing about this year's walk is that it is virtual, as many things have become, obviously. So that means anybody, anywhere can get involved. In years past, big cities had their big struts, and which was awesome. But this is kind of a cool opportunity because now people all over in smaller towns that maybe couldn't get to those cities can all take part. And it's really exciting for me being the official spokesperson because I'm going to get to connect with everybody online. So it's a super cool thing. It's all for a great cause. I'm so excited to connect with like-minded people who also want to save animals. I'm really, really honored and excited to be a part of it.
Let me tell you something. This is like critical time to raise funds for these poor animals. You know, like we want to help out as much as we can. Here at Houston Life, we love dogs. Of course, Tex is on our show every day. He sits on the news desk. He's part of our family. I have Minnie and Zoe. They were going to say hi, but they got a little camera shy. Lauren, do you have dogs? Are you a dog mom?
I have 2 dogs and a cat, so it's a full house over here. And and listen, they've been doing press with me all morning. They're taking their SAG designated lunch break right now. But look, I've rescued all 3 of my animals. My 2 dogs, one of them was an adult dog when I rescued him, and the other was a senior when I rescued her. And I got to tell you, there's truly nothing better. There is nothing more gratifying, in my opinion, than offering an animal who has been displaced and discarded a soft bed to live in and a beautiful rest of their days. It's what fills me up inside.
Absolutely. And there's so many local Houston animal shelters that need so much help. I'm just 100% behind this. And when I hear the word strut, are we like talking dogs in costumes? Are we dressing up our mutts and putting them in front of the camera? Let me tell you, mine are such big fans of costumes.
You know, most animals are, especially when you really force them on them. Listen, I've taken part in Strut Your Mutt many times here in Los Angeles, and anything goes, okay? There is costumes. There is, for the older ones that don't like to walk as much, there's decorated strollers. Again, the sky's the limit. And I think since we are doing this virtually and we're connecting online, this is a great opportunity for you to come up with something, put your dog in it, post some photos, raise some awareness. Then that way also you don't have to commit to doing a 2-mile walk with a dog dressed in a Superman cape, but you can get something and put it out there. And you can raise funds for your own team. You can raise funds for a local shelter, a local rescue group, or you can also join my team, Team Ashpack, and help me raise money together as a team, which I'm really excited about as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Lauren, where can we get the information on the big event? I know it's got to have a website set up. Where can we join and start raising funds for this?
So you can learn everything you need to know about Strut Your Mutt at strutyourmutt.org. Or if you want to join my team, which there's some fun perks like free t-shirts if you raise over $100 that have your name on it as a member of the official team, and a private Facebook group where only we're members. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So to take advantage of all of that and join my team, it is bestfriends.org/teamashpack.
I want to be part of the Ashpack, and maybe it's because we have the same name, so a lot of the stuff will have my name on it already.
Totally. Guys, join us. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited about connecting with everybody, and there's already been so much enthusiasm. It's contagious. It's a really wonderful thing.
Well, Lauren Ash, you're such a pleasure. Thank you for joining us again. Strut Your Mutt, October 24th. We're looking to raise funds for just those animals who really need our help. We're going to help the local Houston animal shelters, and it's going to be so much fun. The website, one more time,
strutyourmutt.org and bestfriends.org/teamashpack.
I also am going to put a link up on our website at houstonlife.tv.
Such great information, a great event for sure. Thanks, Lauren.
And yeah, the 2 Laurens, Lauren
Yes.
Kelly and Lauren Ash. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to the show. Earlier at the top of the show, we were talking about strange things that you have seen at a wedding. And man, we've got some really good comments. You want to start with Darla's?
Yeah, let's go. Darla says the bride's boyfriend showed up at the reception.
I thought that only happened in the movies. Tammy writes, the mother of the bride did the YMCA while doing a handstand. Oh. And she was wearing a skirt.
Oh, my.
Oh, that she forgot, apparently.
Well, that mother of the bride sounds like a lot of fun to me.
A lot of fun.
And Katie writes in, we caught a table on fire at the reception, poured red wine on it, and covered it with a pink napkin. Wow, Katie. Okay, well.
They're resourceful, though. They know how to get out of a bad situation. Joshua wrote in, during the vows, the husband said waffle instead of lawful, and the bride busted out laughing and peed her dress.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Clean up on aisle 1.
Right?
I do.
Oh. Have you ever crashed a wedding? Have you ever, like, gone and danced at a wedding? Someone else's wedding?
I did, actually.
I have, too.
Have you really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, tell me.
That's it. I just, we were like...
I actually did it last fall at in Austin.
So
at a
fun,
wedding.
right?
I had been at one wedding, and then we went to another location,
Yeah.
and there was a reception, and because we were
You're all
already dressed up, we fit right in,
Right.
and no one knew.
I know, it's fun.
That was the best wedding I had ever been to. May the happy couple live forever.
Well, that's going to do it with Houston Live. Oh, no,
No,
it's not. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're still here. False alarm.
Courtney's just impatient. Show's over. Bye. No, it's actually not.
Go.
It's not quite over. But anyway, if you are looking for something free and fun and great to do this weekend, folks, the Manil Collection is finally reopening to the public. Tickets are totally free. You can visit manil.org/welcomeback. I posted it on my Houston Life Facebook page, and you can go and get yourself some timed tickets and do something a little
fantastic.
fancy.
AJ and the boy Connor, they both love it there.